You don't need to keep going all in the gym while you're traveling to keep making really good gains in the long run. Now, I personally just went on a 1 week trip and I actually managed to shred down about like 1 to 2 kilos. So abs are looking good again and everything. Now, the three things we're going to go over are the plan behind when you actually go on this trip or you're traveling or so on, like what your actual intent behind the traveling is. Not of course in the traveling, in the fitness, right? Your execution, right? How you're actually going to go about executing it depending on what path you choose, and then how to actually keep enjoying your travels while doing this. So let's start off with the plan itself. Now, the first thing I want to go over is to make sure that, you need to have like an intent behind what you're going to do on this trip, right? So like, for example, for me, I knew I was going to go, like I went to Hong Kong, right? And Hong Kong is expensive, stuff is expensive, food is expensive. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I've bulked up a little bit too much, so I might as well spend this time going on a mini cut, right, until I come back. And so what I did was just like do a bunch of steps. Yeah, I did a bunch of steps and I ate like a little bit less, like maybe like 2 meals per day. Okay. And this worked really well for me. Okay. Now I'm about like 73, 74 kilos, down from 75, and I feel better and I'm ready to get on the bulk back up once again. Okay. So when I would do this is if you feel like the place you're going to is going to be like expensive, right? Just make sure it kind of mimics the place. If you know the place you're going to has really good food and also maybe has an accessible gym, then go ahead and take it as a more like, I don't know, like bulk sort of travel, right? And so make sure your plan actually aligns with the place you're going, and make sure like the first thing you want to look at though is before you look at the actual like diet and so on, the first thing you want to look at is just how long have you been working out already? So let's say if you've been working out already for like, I don't know, 4 to 8 weeks, okay? And you see that your progress might have been going down recently, then this is time for a deload week, okay? So depending on how long your travels are, like if your travels are like, I don't know, like let's say 5 days to 5 to 10 days, right? Let's say your travels are 5 to 10 days and you feel like your progress has been going down in the past. What I would say, like if you're already locked in here, right? What I would say here is just take a deload. This is where you do half reps, okay? Half weight. You also do half sets and a half the days in the gym, okay? So let's say you usually work out 4 times per week, you do that 2. Let's say you do 3 sets, you do 1 or 2. Weight, you just do half the reps as well. And so what this will do is it'll zero out all the accumulated fatigue that you've just gotten from this whole like 5 to 10 weeks of whatever of your training. And so this will make it really easy to get back once you're actually like, back in your home base and so on. And so you need to figure out your plan, okay? So I would say that the easiest thing for most people, since most people go on about like 1 week vacation, is just to put a deload on that. Even if like you've been only working out for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, right? Most people actually don't take enough deload. So I would say probably just take this as a deload if you can take like one advice from this video, okay? So take this as a deload, and then the second thing we're gonna go over is execution, okay? So how you're actually gonna make this happen properly. Now, the most important thing is if you're gonna be going to the gym for if you're gonna be traveling for about a week, what you should do is at least go to the gym once, okay? At least work out one time. Work out one time. Because what'll happen is if you don't work out at all, your body, your central nervous system is actually going to like kind of forget the movements and it's going to get worse at them pretty quickly. Even though recovering from this doesn't take too long, we just want to keep your central nervous system like primed so that you can get into the flow really quickly and you don't have to stagnate once you actually go back to your home base. So the idea behind this is at least have one workout, optimally like 2, okay? So let's say you're on vacation for 9 days, you hit like 2, maybe 3 workouts, okay? Probably I would just do like about 2. And find the most accessible place to work out. So for example, in Hong Kong, the gyms were hella expensive, right? And so some were charging like 30 to 50 USD, okay, for a day pass, which is like insane. And so what I did is I just went to the park, right? I chilled there with some guys. It was pretty fun. Got a workout in and everything. And that made me more primed to come back now and actually keep working out, okay? So the idea behind this is just find what's accessible, maybe find some gyms beforehand you when you go there. Make sure maybe like, I don't know, maybe book your place near to a gym if you really want it like super easy, right? So yeah, just make sure you get in your 1 to 2 workouts with like an easy gym, the easiest way to work out, okay? If you really need to, just do some push-ups. If you really need to, just do some pistol squats, okay? The other thing for execution is what you eat, right? Now, obviously, this depends a lot on the place. If you're in, I don't know, if you're in New York versus if you're in, I don't know, like in China, for example, it's going to be super different, okay? But the easiest thing I want to give you for this is just to make sure you still, once again, going back to the intent, right? Going back to the intent is you want to know what your goal is and then just stick to it as best as you can. So let's say your goal might be like you just came off of a big bulk and you want to have a mini cut during this like vacation, right? What you do is you simply cut during that vacation, eating like the most quality foods you can, okay? So for me, for example, in Hong Kong, since everything was super expensive, right? I just had like some protein shakes. I had protein shakes. I found some like good like meat places to eat beforehand, right? So I was eating still some like good amount of protein. And since the idea was like a cut, right? I was just like eating more like lean foods and so on. And so this made it pretty easy to cut down. And on top of that, I was doing a ton of steps, okay? And I was also doing this purposefully, right? Because I knew like, okay, I just want to cut down in this little quick vacation so I can get back into the flow of bulking really quick, okay? So it should be pretty easy to understand. Just make sure you essentially make your goal, right, as frictionless as possible. What I mean by that is like, let's say you want to go and maybe you're going to, I don't know, like Brazil and they have really good food, right? And you want to bulk there, okay? You want to bulk there, but you don't know any good restaurants to eat, right? Before you go, you find like, let's say, I don't know, like 5 good restaurants, right? You find 5 good restaurants and you also find like a couple cheap gyms, right? Cheap gyms near your place. And then this makes it so much easier because you already have a plan sort of laid out, right? You know, like, okay, I can go to the gym there and then the restaurant is open at that time and so on. So just make sure that whatever your goal is, you've made it more like less frictionless, right? So you have less friction to do that, okay? Because you'll probably just default to the easiest thing, especially when you're on vacation, okay? Now, the last thing I want to go over is just the enjoyment itself, because obviously we're on holiday to enjoy, right? So you need to sort of, in my opinion, I don't think you should try to balance the two, right? I don't think you should put them, you know, on the little thing and then put gym here, right? Put gym here and then vacation here, right? I wouldn't balance them like that. And to be honest, bro, like I lost out on the gym quite a lot in Hong Kong, right? I did a lot of other stuff, right? It was basically like a socializing / cutting season, okay? And so that worked really well for me. And I mean, I enjoyed it a lot, but now I'm back here to work and it worked really well for me at least. But what I think you should do is to actually just go all in on the vacation itself. Like, yeah, take the gym sort of seriously, but basically just do the bare minimum, okay? Do the bare minimum. Do the bare minimum and trust that yourself, when you come back off of the vacation, you're going to be locked in, okay? So make this as like a mental agreement for yourself that, okay, when I go back, I'm going to be 100% locked in. This is a time to enjoy, right? And I'm going to make the most out of it so that when I do go back, I'm actually ready to lock in once again, okay? So make sure that you just go all in on the vacation itself because you don't get much opportunities like this, bro. And I want you to enjoy it as much as you can because that way you'll just feel better, right? In a better mood and you'll have more of like an extreme season, so to call it that. So like, let's say, for example, for myself, right? My extreme season in Hong Kong was social skills, right? I skyrocketed social skills and girls, right? It went through the roof. But the gym, bro, like maybe it was here before I left. It probably stayed the same, maybe even like, it probably didn't get worse, probably got a little bit better. That's because like I still trained a little bit. But the idea behind this is go all in on one of these. It might even just be like, I don't know, like learning their history. You know, it could literally be anything, right? But whatever you feel like you want to go all in on, set the intent, like we said beforehand in number 1. So set the intent, right? For me, that was social skills. And just go all in on it, get really good at it, and then it'll be figured out for the rest of your time, okay? So trust yourself that you're gonna do really well in this goal, but also trust yourself that you're gonna come back to your home base and stay locked in. Okay. That's about it, bro. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I know you got a ton of value from this, and it's like, it's not a normal video to watch, bro. Literally no editing, no cuts, no nothing. And I really appreciate you watching this, bro. And a way you can help me out even more is by booking a call with me. I mean, I'll just go ahead and help you out. And if you want my course, my community, that's also the second link in the description. That's on school. You can just go ahead and log in and everything. There are people making posts. It's sick to see a community like it. We also have weekly calls as well. So yeah, bro, go ahead and join the community. Go ahead and book a call and have an absolutely amazing day. Let's get it, bro.